So I really wanted to talk about this video because I've been on both sides of this and I find it really interesting. And I just wanted to break it down and talk about it because I just love that one, it's out there, people can see it. And I just find it so interesting that people are saying that you got in a heated argument or fighting. And like I say, no, not at all. Not at all. But it does give you a really good look at what it's like really on set. Because this is one of the modern movies where you really feel like you're a fly on the wall. Like, should I be there? Should I listen to this? And I think it says a lot about um, James Gunn and David Corenswet, the actor. And I just want to see if I can give you some insight, being a director myself and used to be more of an actor, but I've been in that director's chair and I face these kind of things all the time, all the time. And it's how you conduct yourself. I want to see how James does. And I have seen it a few times, but I want to just hopefully give you some insight um, on the video. So I want to watch. Let's check it out. All right, here we go.
He starts saying, I don't know if I feel this.
The whole crew's sitting around waiting, like, come on, let's shoot, let's get this done. So finally, I walked off set and to talk to him in person.
He came off set, and we get into this thing.
When the actor, he's usually on set, he could be on a sound stage, it could be in a location, and everybody's focused on their job. When things slows down, and then when the actor, usually it's the lead actor, will come from set and come right to Video Village and start talking, it's usually like something important, something really important.
So great, but the
Okay, did you see his reaction there? Look at James Gunn's reaction. I'm just going to go back. Look at his reaction. Now, he could be having fun. He could be playing with David, maybe have an inside joke or something like that. Like, I'm so tired of hearing you talk about the character or the lines or whatever. But he's playing like I think he's having fun. But like, oh, not this again. Oh my God, we're going to keep talking. Oh my God. But it's interesting to see that.
So great, but the
And then when he sees him there, he's like, "Oh, I'm just joking. I'm just joking." Isn't that wild? So maybe it's just like, but he was doing it personally. He didn't look mad or anything. But you get the sense that David would be the type of actor that, and actors I've worked with actors like this too, where it's like every nuance, every little thing. I got to understand every single part of what you're trying to say so that I can fulfill it. I need to feel it, or I can't do it. So they have to work around it, think about it, overanalyze it constantly. I embrace that when the actor delivers. I find it, like a lot of directors would too, like it's a big waste of time if they're doing that, but then when they go on the stage and perform, it's not there at all. Like, what? Like, it's amazing when you see someone explain what they're looking for, what they want to do, and searching, and then you give them a direction that's really clear, and they kind of like process it, and they hit the stage and they fucking nail it. That's the coolest part about being a director.
am I just demonstrating it? So if I say that's what it is to be human,
Do you see how David opened that up? So an actor comes out like that and says, he asks him out of respect for James and the director. He asks as a question first. He may be feeling something, he may be conflicted, which he is, but he's asking first to set the table. Am I supposed to feel it? And then he goes into what his thoughts are, which is very interesting, and it makes me feel like David is the type of actor who really, really cares. That's why I love this video. I had to talk about it because these are two, they're not in a heated argument. They're just very passionate artists, and they're meeting and they're talking. That's it to me.
that feels like I'm trying to prove it still, as opposed to I really know it.
He makes a good point there. I've seen the movie, but you see how like he's just acting still. He's still trying to show his emotion, like I'm supposed to feel this way, that I'm supposed to say it like this. He's in that state. And sometimes when I direct someone, if the scene is emotional scene or it's an angry scene, no matter what the scene is, I kind of like go with them with that, where like I'm in the same emotion there, even when I give direction. So sometimes it's like, whoa, like that's intense, but I'm in the moment that they're in as well. So this is very common.
There's a little bit. I mean,
Okay, because let me try that.
The emotions are always lingering.
But isn't there something?
See, they haven't met yet. They're trying to figure it out in that moment, because David seems a bit lost with the moment he's trying to convey, because he's confused on what that exactly is. So they're still circling each other here, obviously.
I felt like shit about myself since the recording came out.
Look at everybody else's faces around there, and I've seen this a lot, where if the actor, I try to do this when I'm on set, the actor will come up and have questions, even if they're not a little heated, but you feel like they're heated because they're in the moment of the character of the scene. But when they come and kind of declare it in front of everybody, a lot of people would use it, they equate it to like, oh, the parents are fighting or the parents are talking, because it makes you feel uncomfortable. Because it's just a meeting of creative minds. So there's a bit of friction. I mean, that's how the best work comes out, when there's a little bit of like friction. So you work together and then, you create a diamond or something. When you're working with people, you're just like, it's good enough. It's never. That's why I like working with passionate people. But you see their faces. That's why sometimes I don't want to make a spectacle of this. I'll get up and I'll take the actor aside. And I'll say, can we just talk over here for a second? And then we just get clear on what it is. And that's where trust comes in. And if it's about trust, you got to really nail, like, listen, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do with it. You have to trust me. If the actor doesn't trust the director, it's over. It's over. Sometimes you got to build that trust within the shoot, which is very taxing and can be vulnerable. Or you already have it. Like, usually you're lucky, especially if you've done a movie that they like. They'll see the movie and be like, oh, I love your movie. Like James will say, like, oh, I love the movies you've made. I respect you already. So I'm going to show that to you on every step of the way of making this movie. And I feel that from David here.
No, it's just been like, I don't belong.
Look at their faces.
Everything's a lie.
There's like,
I'm not who I thought I was. When is this not the moment where I go, I was wrong to feel that way?
So James is like, I got to step in here. I got to make this very, very clear, because he wrote the script. So he knows I'm going to convey this as clear as possible, because he's close, but he's not there. But see how he gets up and engages him? Because he's like, well, I can't do this here. I got to show you that I'm as passionate as you are about this. I'll stand up, we'll come together, and I'll take you away from this little pocket of the video village, and we'll talk closer, like face to face, one-on-one about this. I've done this many times.
Exactly where the issue is, right? Because what he didn't tell you was it was wrong to feel that way.
It almost like they're filming, but whoever's doing it is like, I shouldn't be filming this. But I think it's great. It gives so much insight of what's it like to be a director. Because even aside from, like, when you're directing a film, you're making the decisions of, with the production designer, how a room looks, what color, what kind of forks are on the table, what kind of plates, what is the camera moves, or the lens you're using. Like, every scene has to make sense coming from the last. So you get just a avalanche of questions constantly, and it feels very vulnerable when you're directing, because sometimes you'll set the table, because that's really your job. You show up on set and you set the table of like, okay, you're going to come in here, you're going to do this. And when you get people not trusting, you're going, oh, that's not going to work, or that sucks. Like, why would I come in and do that? You got to work with that. You got to allow yourself to be vulnerable and take a second, but also have your conviction to say, no, just trust me, stand there, try it, just at least try it on. Just try it and see how it feels. And then you could work together and see how it feels. But it's a bit of a conundrum, because they want you so badly to have a vision. But if they feel restricted in that vision, then sometimes you can get pushback. So you're always in a state of explaining yourself. So it's not just sitting there and like, hey, do that, do that. No, it's not like that so much. It's almost you're showing them, oh, this is how you play the game in the scene, we'll say. And they got to trust you that they're going to come in the room at that point and like, I'm going to say the line here, or that doesn't really work, and give you inflections and give directions. And that's where the trust comes in. but you're the one they all look to. And if it doesn't work, if you're doing like a blocking of the scene, that's when you do it before the camera comes up and everything. You're just showing everybody what you're going to do. If it doesn't work, oh, it feels like you got a bunch of egg on your face. It just stands there and like, what are we doing? Like, that doesn't work. That sucks. It does happen sometimes too. Anyway, let's continue.
There are feelings and there are thoughts. Your feelings about feeling.
He's not only being direct with his direction, with his eyes, he's locked in on David here. He's making a point literally with his fingers to say, please listen. This is where you're supposed to be. This is where you are. And David's open to it.
Bad are okay. It's not wrong for you to feel that way. You should just, it's not right or wrong, anything. None of it is right or wrong. All of it is being vulnerable. And
see how David has a smile on his face a little bit? Like he's taking it in. He's seeing James's passion, and I'm sure they got a good relationship because there's something in him that's open. He's taking it in.
Being a human being. And in this moment, for you to talk about how it's okay to be vulnerable, you have to be vulnerable.
That's a beautiful direction there, I think. If you're speaking about being vulnerable, or what it's like to be human. I enjoyed this scene in the movie. I know that's been criticized because it's too emotional, but I loved it. I love emotion in movies. I think James does brilliantly with the emotion gravitas of each character. He's got an emotional arc, an emotional journey. But when he says that line, it's so simple to think, if you're going to talk about being vulnerable, you got to be vulnerable. It's such a simple thing, but it's effective.
Which means showing Lex that your feelings are hurt.
It's good.
In the point when you really should.
So I've seen on some other videos online about like he's like, okay, I'm done, I'm out of here, or like he's just walking off, or like no, they connected there. You got to think about this like, for maybe a bad analogy or maybe not, it's like football in a way, where that's the coach, he's talking to the player and the player understands the play, and then they huddle for a second, and he's like, oh no, I got it, trust me, I got it. And he goes, he's off. And when you get that with someone, like I've had this moment many times like this, where you start giving direction, and then once the actor understands what you're saying, and you can feel they understand, or at least they think they understand, they don't want to keep pontificating about it. They want to go in action. That's where they're actors. They want to come out, boom, and they're like, got it. And like I said earlier, that's the best feeling as a director. When you give a direction, it clicks with the actor, and they go and deliver. It can bring tears to your eyes. And he does there, and he's wearing the suit, and it's great. I think it's really cool. And he's got it. He's ready to go onto the field and play.
That's where you've always been wrong about me, Lex. I'm as human as anyone else. I love, I get scared. I wake up every morning, and despite...
And that's why a lot of actors need to do that, because look, he himself is vulnerable, even as a person, as an actor on set. You're standing in front of all those people. If you don't know what you're saying, then you just don't want to be a fool. So when he understands the direction, he's got 2 feet on the ground, he gets it, then he can be in front of everybody and do it. Because he's the one out there in front of the camera. He's the one on the front line. And I tell my actors that all the time, like, I have your back because I know what it feels like to be invulnerable in front of that camera. It's a very vulnerable place. Everybody's looking at you. You feel like you're being judged constantly. So you have to have a creative backbone, which is the character. And that's what David did. That's what he needed to do. And I think, James did an amazing job. I was wondering about his hair, though. His hair always looked great. But if you notice, like, it was like brown a couple of years ago, like 4 years ago, and then it just went like, maybe he stopped dyeing it or something. It still looks great. Anyway, I'm a fan of his.
Not knowing what to do, I put one foot in front of the other, and I try to make the best choices I can. And every time you say that I don't belong, it hurts my feelings. That's being human. And that's my greatest strength.
I got emotional a second ago because I really do think that what this movie is about is why do we love Superman so much? Is it because he can punch planets or pick up skyscrapers? I don't think it is. I think it's because of his innate goodness and his humanity.
Well, that's great. Seeing everybody on the set smiling and everything makes me miss it. You know, you're a real camp. You're in a summer camp together. Um, and right there, like, boy, are they not phoning it in. You know, you don't see it in the movie. They're just not phoning it in. Yeah, I love that this is out there. So if you ever wanted to think about what being a director is like sometimes, and that's a perfect example of what it feels like. You can be faced with that all the time, every other day, every day, sometimes every scene. But I thought they both handled that amazing, and I'm glad it's out there to check it out. And I hope you enjoyed the video.